Hello fellow vintage Ray-Ban lovers out there and other collectors. So today's video really involves all collectors of any type basically, because today I want to have a quick chat about inventories or inventories. Now, for people out there that don't know what an inventory is, I'm going to say inventory because inventory is just too much for my mouth to keep on saying inventory every time. I just want to make it nice and short and sweet. So I'm going to keep on saying inventory. So basically, for those who don't know what an inventory is, or for you new collectors out there, for you young cats out there that don't know what an inventory is and you're just starting out collecting, an inventory is basically a list of your collection. Now, a simple way or an example of this is like a clothes store will have an inventory. So basically their inventory is all their clothes, and because it's a clothes store and it's selling items on a daily basis, they will do an inventory checklist or a stock take. But as we're collectors, we don't need to do stock takes, inventory checks as often as a clothes store. So basically, I'm going to give you an example of when an inventory can be very useful, and it happened to me very early on in my collecting sort of era. And basically what happened was I was about to go to bed, thought I'll have a quick 10-minute browse on a well-known auction site. And by that time, I probably had about 15 sunglasses, still new to collecting sunglasses. So I was still sort of getting my information and making sure that I remembered the information. So basically, I've gone on to this well-known auction site, obviously just about to go to bed, as I said, and there's a pair of sunglasses on there that I saw that I was interested in, and it was at a good price. It was in good condition. There'd been a few bids on it already, and it was around about the region that I was prepared to pay for them at the time. So basically, I couldn't remember whether or not I had these glasses in my collection, and I couldn't be bothered to get out of bed and check it out because, and to be fair, I didn't have enough time. I had 5 minutes, and it would have taken me longer than 5 minutes to go through every single case to see whether or not I had these glasses. So I took a punt. Thankfully, I lost the auction. However, the moral of the story is, if I had won the auction, I would have got the pair of sunglasses, and I would have realised that I already had the same pair. And what would have been even worse was that I would have paid more for this second pair of glasses than I did the first. So that is when I decided that I needed to do myself an inventory. And I would say to any collector out there, in my opinion, an inventory is probably, it's your go-to, it's your Bible. With your inventory, you will be able to detail exactly what collector's item you have. You can, no matter what you want to do, no matter how you want to use your inventory, that will be your go-to guide in telling you exactly what models you have in your collection, instead of having to go off your memory. And I would probably say as well that most seasoned collectors will probably know about 75%, 80% of their collection off the top of their head. I know pretty much if I see an item or a pair of sunglasses, I will pretty much know that I have them or not. Now, where I do get stuck is when particularly the particular two models that I can never remember which one I have are the Aviator and the Wayfarer. Now, that is because the Wayfarer comes in two models. You've got the 5022 and you've got the 5024. And you only know which one is which by actually having a look on the sunglasses. Because it's very, you pretty much cannot tell which is the 5022 and which is the 5024. I'm not going to say why. Actually, yes, I will. Basically, the 5022, the nose bridge is 2 millimeters smaller than the 5024. That's why you have a 5022 and a 5024. The same goes for the Aviator between a 58mm and a 62mm bridge. I can never remember which one I've got. So that is where the inventory, is basically a godsend, because if I saw something on eBay, whether it be a Wayfarer or an Aviator, and the description said that it's, for instance, a 62mm Aviator, I can look on my inventory and I can see, yes, I've got that, or no, I haven't got that. So basically what I want to do, I'm just going to show you my inventory, and then we can just discuss it a little bit more. Okay, so here is my inventory here. If I just make it a bit smaller, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, let's get rid of that. As you can see, here is my inventory. So if I just go down, is it going to go down for me? Yeah, okay. So basically, I've just created a form in Microsoft Excel, which goes all the way down to like 1500, basically. And as you've noticed, I have different columns. So I have obviously model, I have the description, what I bought it for, what I believe is the current price in that particular year, the date I bought it, any issues, whether it has a case, whether it has the proper case, and the weight. And also, as an added benefit for me, I also have a picture of the glasses. So that one there is the Wayfarer Frost Fantasy lens, as you can see. So basically, your inventory can come in any format that you like. It doesn't have to be the way that I've got it here, okay? Your inventory is personal to you. So you use what you want to use. You put in the columns whatever you want, basically. But for me, the way I've done it here is ideal for me, basically. So you'll also notice that it's basically got loads of colours over it. It's got a green, it's got an orange, red and blue. So for me, what I've done is that, you know, when I get a pair of sunglasses, I obviously look at it and I try and basically just make sure that it's in, you know, good condition and so forth. So the green means that it's in good condition, or, you know, above good condition, and I'm going to keep it in my collection. It's good to go. The orange means it's average. Either I need to fix it, or it's not good enough to stay in my collection permanently. And if there's a potential to change it for a better version, then that's what I'll do. And then the red means that it needs to go, it's in poor condition. There's not much I can do with it, although I might fix it up and then it might, you know, go up to a orange, or it might, you know, go up to a green. But generally a red means that it's no good and I'm probably gonna sell it, you know, or, you know, or whatever, basically, or get rid of it, give it to somebody or whatever. And then the blue doesn't mean anything. It's just a different colour to say that, you know, I've put the weight in, basically. So that is my inventory there, you see. Now, these current prices, what I do pretty much once a year, probably the end of the year or beginning of the year, I will have a look on the interweb, and I will just make sure that, you know, the price of the glasses in the condition that I bought it, not in new condition, so it's at the condition that I bought it, how much I could potentially, if I wanted to, sell it on, basically. So that saves me, although I know what, you know, generally what prices are, that saves me from getting mugged off. If somebody says to me, oh, you know, I'll give you 40 quid for it, and I know it's probably worth 60, then, you know, we're going to have to meet in the middle so that he thinks he's got a good deal and I think, you know, I've got a good deal. Because the art of negotiation is to make sure that both parties leave happy. Yeah? So basically what I do, I don't put an exact figure on it because, you know, these things aren't exact. It's all dependent on the buyer. You know, the buyer will only be prepared to part with, you know, the amount of money that they think is suitable, basically. So I always put it into a range. So the first one, the Wafer of Frost Fantasy lens, as you can see, I bought it for 129 quid. In my opinion, it's probably worth between 180 and 250. Now, as you can see, it has the proper case with it as well. It's in excellent condition. The script is slightly worn, but you can see most of it. So basically, for me, I think it's probably worth around that figure. I mean, I haven't updated these yet, these 2014 ones. I'll probably update these at the end of this year, but it's not going to change. It's still going to be 180 to 250 quid, basically. Let's go down a little bit and I'll show you. I mean, I've got, where we are. So I've got 102 sunglasses in my collection. Now, if we remove, I've got 1, 2. So I've got 2 sunglasses that are in really poor condition, and I'm pretty much probably going to get rid of those at some point. So that means I've got 100 sunglasses that are in average condition and above, basically. And this is where the inventory comes in it, comes in its own, basically. I have so many sunglasses. There is no way, with that example I gave earlier, if I haven't got time to look through all those cases, I can just go straight to my inventory and have a look to see whether or not I have those particular glasses. And I have them in numerical order as well. That's, I think that's quite important as well. If you're going to have an inventory, you must have it in some sort of order. You've got to be organised with these things, because if you're not, the whole point of inventory is to make your life a lot easier, basically. So if we have a look, and as I said, with the models of the Wayfarer and the Aviator, as you can see, I have I have 5 50-22s. Yeah. Look, I've got some more Wayfarers here which aren't 50-20. Well, they are, but as you can see, this particular one, the Wayfarer white, it has its own code, but it's a 50-22, and then the Wayfarer red has its own code and is a 50-24. Now there is a Wayfarer red 50-22. So you can see where you can easily get confused, whether or not you've got that model. So there you have it, folks. This is basically my inventory. And I really do implore you, if you decide to be a collector of any item, and basically you're going to be collecting a lot of items, to get your inventory sorted. It will make your life so much more easier, so much more simpler, and basically you can see whether or not you have it in your collection, and and also the other good thing for me is to know how many you've got. There's nothing worse for me, in my opinion. You say to someone, somebody takes an interest in your collection, and normally most people will say, well, how many have you got? There's no point lying and saying, well, I've got 300. You know what I mean? When you've only got, 30. You can actually say, I've got this particular amount of sunglasses. I have 100 sunglasses in my collection, or, I have 77 sunglasses in my collection. You know exactly how many you've got. And also, like with this one here, with the issues, you know exactly what issues it has, what you need to do with it, whether you need to fix it, whether you need to clean it. And also you can see whether or not you actually overpaid as well for particular, for your, for that particular item. On some occasions, I'm trying to see if I've overpaid for anything. I think I've overpaid for 1 or 2. But pretty much, or gone close to, the optimum price. And then the other side of the coin is to see what bargains you've got, So yeah, so there you have it. There's nothing more I can say about it, really. I think this is mainly for, people who are just starting out collecting, or are thinking about collecting, or even just, you're collecting and you suddenly realise you've got loads, you've got absolutely loads, and you're thinking to yourself, Christ, I better do something about it. I better get myself organised, And if you are a seasoned collector and you don't have an inventory, then I think, it's time to get one. I think you'll find yourself not having so much of a headache trying to find out whether or not you have a particular piece or not. So there you have it, folks. This is my inventory for my sunglasses, and I hope that this video is helpful for you. And if you've got any comments or you've got any suggestions for anybody or for myself, then please feel free to put a comment down below. Thank you for your time. Peace.